Okay, let's start. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we will study new chapter. It's called Compendium of Categories. So actually, the literal meaning of this chapter is the Samochaya. Samochaya means how to say the writing, combining all. So that means in this chapter, important categories will be mentioned together. So actually this chapter is very important. Mostly all these categories we are taken from Sutta Pitaka. For that reason, one of the famous Abhidhamma scholar in Myanmar, Ledi Sayadaw, and he said that if we learn Abhidhamma Sangaha, so this comprehensive meaning of Abhidhamma, so you know two Tipitaka. Not only Abhidhamma but also Sutta Pitaka. So the reason is in earlier chapters from 1 to 6 it covers 4 ultimate realities: Chaita, Chaitasika, Rupa and Nibbana. But now it is a practical aspect. So after you learn 4 ultimate realities, now to practice. So and then this chapter is very important. So practical aspect. So and then this chapter and another following 2 chapters talk about mainly from Sutta Pitaka. So and then by learning Abhidhamma Sangaha, this one small one, this book, very small book in Bali. So by learning this small book, then you can expand in two Pitaka, two Pitaka. But of course you need to know a lot of explanations. So today we will learn Compendium of Categories. So in this, in the introduction, the author of Abhidhamma Sangaha, he said that we have learned 72 ultimate realities. 72 ultimate realities. So actually, what we know is only 4 ultimate realities. So in this chapter, the author said that 72 ultimate reality were already mentioned. So what are the 72? Number 1, consciousness or Chaita. Consciousness is regarded as one ultimate reality. So the reason is, so even though we have 89 Chaitas or 121 Chaitas, so their intrinsic nature is only one. So cognizing of an object. So as a consciousness, only one characteristics or intrinsic nature. So that is a cognizing the object. For that reason, we count consciousness or Chaita as a one ultimate realities. So we have a 52 mental factors, 52 Chaitasikas. So they are counted. Each of these 52 we are counted as the one atomic realities. As the fasa contact as the atomic reality, because it has one intrinsic nature, contact with the object. Feeling, vedana, and feeling also have intrinsic natures, experience the object. For that reason, all these 52 mental factors are counted as the 52 atomic realities. So now together 53. So among 28 material phenomena, the 80 concretely produced matters, in Pali, Nibbana Rupa, concretely produced matter. They are concrete. They are the object of insight meditations. We can practice insight meditations by using these material phenomena. They are concrete. So among 28 material phenomena, so these 80 concretely produced matters are counted as a each of them we are counted as a one atomic realities. For that reason, among 28 matters, so we have 80 atomic realities. So they have their own intrinsic natures. Regarding with the Patavi, the earth has a intrinsic nature of solidity, hard and soft. Regarding with the fire, or tejo, or temperature. Its characteristic is temperature or cold and heat. So they have each of these 80 concretely produced matters. So they have their own characteristics. For that reason, so in the matters we have 80 material atomic realities. Nibbana, actually here, so we have the rest of the 10. The rest of the 10 are not real rupa, not real material phenomena. So they are included in the material phenomena. The reason is they arise as a result of real rupa. So they cannot be practiced as the object of meditation. They are not real rupa. So for that reason, the rest of the 10 matters, we call it non. They are just panyati. So it is just a concept in our mind. So they get those names just like a impermanent, protection, decay. So these are not real rupas. So they for that reason, among 28, only 80s are regarded as atomic realities. Next one is the Nibbana. Nibbana is only counted as the one because regarding with intrinsic nature, only one nature. So altogether, 72 atomic realities. So normally we learn in the first chapter we have 8 atomic realities. Cheta is one atomic realities. Have each of these 62 have their own characteristics or their own intrinsic natures, the power. For that reason, we count 52. Among 28 matters, only 80 matters are real matter. So they are concrete, so they are visible. And Nibbana, is a one ultimate reality. So altogether 72 ultimate realities. So the author said that we already have learned so these 72 ultimate realities. So now he said that we will study categories. So we have a four categories in this chapter. Number one, the compendium of the unwholesome akusala sangaha. Number one, we will study unwholesome category. So all the things will be unwholesome. Number two, mixed categories, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Number three, the compendium of requisites of enlightenment. So this is very important session. So we have a 37 requisites of enlightenment. If we want to attain enlightenment, so we need to know these 37. Then number four, the compendium of the whole. So compendium of the whole means actually very important. How to say, the category will be discussed in this session, just like a four noble truths, and just like a five aggregate, and 12 last one, the compendium of the whole. It's very important one. So I think after learning this chapter thoroughly, I think you will know what is all about teachings of the Buddha in the Sutta Pitaka. But of course, in this chapter, later you will find that some of the factors are added according to Abhidhamma. Okay? So now, compendium of the unwholesome akusala. So in this session, we will learn number one, taints, asava. What are the asava? Number two, flats, orga. Number five, clinging. Number six, hindrances. Number seven, latent dispositions. Number eight, factors, sanyojana. Number nine, defilements, kilesa. So actually, you have already learned all these one, but now is a good chance to learn all these one together in one place. So these will be covered in this session. Altogether 9. Number one, taints or asava. According to commentary of the first Abhidhamma book, Attasalini, sometimes we call it 6 sin species. So that is the meaning of asava. Things that flow out from 6 doors or 6 sin space. So what are the 6 doors? Eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body, and the mind. These are the 6 doors. Mind. Actually, it is just a metaphor. So when we see something, sometimes anger arises, flow out. Sometimes greed flow out. Actually, it's just metaphor. Not anger or greed. It's not flowing out from the eye, just metaphor. Sometimes we see with our eye, defilements or taints will flow out. That is the meaning. Things that flow out from 6 doors. Sometimes you hear something, sometimes hatred, sometimes jealousy, sometimes greed, craving, all these will come out. That is the meaning of Then commentary mentioned two aspects. With the respect to existence, as you all know that we have a 31 planes of existence. So with the respect to existence, it flows right up to the topmost plane of existence. So what is the topmost plane of existence? Perception. So actually the fourth jhana planes of the immaterial planes. So those asava not only arise in the human realms, it also arises in the immaterial, even in immaterial realms. Very powerful, right? Not only in the sense sphere realms, it go up to the, it can arise up to the topmost plane of existence. So even the Brahma, so things can arise in their mind. So it's a very powerful defilements. Not only human beings, devas, the Brahma as well. So with the respect to existence, it flows right up to the topmost plane of existence. The next one, with the respect to mind process, actually the commentary mentioned the word Dhamma. Dhamma means, actually I just use a normal one, mind process. With the respect to phenomena, it flows right up to the change of lineage, Kotarabu. Actually we have learned Kotarabu. So that means before change of lineage. So after that, Magga. So these things, these defilements flows right up to the, how do you say, the change of lineage, up to that state of mind. Then after that, there's no change. At that moment, there's no change. So the taints or asava will flow right up to the change of lineage. You understand this one? The last one? Okay. It will go up to the change of one of the sincere consciousness. So the taints can arise even at that moment. But after change of lineage, Magga will arise. So when we have Magga, there's no chance for meaning of asava. That means things that flow out from the six doors. From the eye, you know, the taints may arise. Ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind. Ear may arise. Taints will arise. Second definition, it also means that things that are similar to intoxicants, like liquors, which have been fermented for a long time. Just like intoxicants. So they have been fermented for. You keep, suppose you drink liquor using the cup, right? Sorry, using the bottle. Then you keep the liquor in the bottle. Then you ferment it. Then you drink it. Even though you finish, the smell will stay there. Just like that, even though you become non-returner, even though you there. The reason is it has been fermented for a long time. It has been latent in our mind for a long time. For that reason, it is just like intoxicants, like liquors. So it will last for a long time. You know, deep in our mind, it has been fermented for many That is second meaning. For those who want to know in details, then you can read the Exposita, page number 63. The Exposita is English translation of Attasalini, the first Abhidhamma book. So this is a very important book for those who want to learn Abhidhamma. Question? No question. Okay. So we have a 4 taints asava. Number 1, the taints of sensory desire. Some will translate sensual desire. Kamasava. Sensual pleasures. You crave for it. So actually, we desire for senses. We want to see, want to hear, want to eat, want to touch, want to think. All these are sensory desire, especially with your senses. With your senses, desire to see. That is a sensory desire. A different level of sensory desires. So if you desire unwholesome things, that's not good. But sometimes you have desire to enjoy your properties, your desire for sensory desire. It is also sensory desire, but it's not. It will not deter to go to a good destination. But when you look at from sensory desire, you cannot attain jhana. Magga and Phala far away. So it is a greed to sensual pleasures. Number 2, the taints of existence, bhavasava. So we went to the taints of existence. It is also greed, lobha, to existences. We have a 31 planes of existence. So want to be born in one of the existences. Normally, human being, they don't like extension of existence. We don't like it because we have craving, right? Greed toward existence. That's very important. That's very important. Existence. So as a Nurratana, they don't have number 1. They don't have sensory desire, but they still have number 2, the taints of existence. For that reason, when the Buddha sent missionaries for the first time, as you all know that when the Buddha have 60 disciples, he told his disciples, he said that he had been cut off all the bombs regarding with the Deva Loka. Buddha said that he had already eradicated the taints of existence. No desire to be born in human realm, the Deva realm, and the Brahma realm. They have becomes Arahant. All the disciples at the time are Arahant. So what the Buddha taught is very beneficial for them, and now there's no more rebirth for them. The Buddha said, for the sake of many people, go forth to suppress his teachings. So that is in his the first missionary statement. The Buddha said that he and all the disciples already eradicated state of existence. The number 3, the taints of ignorance, avijja sawa. Actually, this is the most difficult one. This one also, only someone became arahant can eradicate ignorance. So here, ignorance means nothing but delusion, moha, that we have learned. And the first 1 and 2 are lobha. And the last one is delusion, moha. So here, avijja means not knowing Four Noble Truth. Not knowing Four Noble Truth. Not really easy to know Four Noble Truths. Even the first one, suffering. We do not know suffering. For that reason, has happiness. For that reason, in Markandeya Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya, the Buddha said that one of the Brahmin called Markandi, he said that he has his sensual pleasure. Sensual pleasure is Nibbana. He can enjoy life. He have a lot of luxuries, a good house. And the Buddha said that in my sasana, the Buddha said that sensual pleasures are just like a disease. The Buddha gave a very good simile. Someone has a very itchy disease, itchy disease, scratch disease. And if it look good, right? But after scratching that disease, painful, very painful. The Buddha said that sensual pleasures are like this. The moment you are scratching that disease, it look good, but after that, not good. For those who to have such one, just like that the Buddha said that for those who attain jhana, doesn't want sensory desires, sensual pleasures. So what I want to say is, normally even we do not see suffering as a suffering. The first Four Noble Truths, right? Second one, more difficult. The original suffering. So ignorance is not knowing Four Noble Truths. So one of the things here is the author will take all the categories. So we have to learn not based on the ultimate realities. So according to Abhidhamma, ignorance is taken as a moha, right? So the first two are lobha, mental factor. The number 4, the taints of wrong views, data sawa. In the Sutta Pitaka, and most of the places in Abhidhamma Pitaka, even Abhidhamma Pitaka, only the first 3 are mentioned as a asava. The first 3, that means sensory desire. Only these 3 are mentioned as a asava. The taints of wrong view is not mentioned as a asava. Not only Sutta Pitakas, but also some of the places in Abhidhamma Pitaka. But and the commentaries added one more asava, that is the taints of wrong views. So it became 4 taints. Normally we have only 3 taints, the first 3. So according to Patthana and commentaries, So another taint, another aswa is at altogether it became 4. Pali Canon usually mentions becoming an arahant with the attainment of destruction of, how do you say, the knowledge of destruction of taints. The knowledge of destruction of taints. That is called Aswakya Jnana. We attain Aswakya Jnana, the knowledge of destruction of taints, only for those who already destroyed all the taints become arahant. Nunratana, they already so the taints of wrong view, but they still have the taints of existence and the taints of ignorance. Only arahant can remove all the taints. For that reason, for those who become arahant, Pali can usually use that. He attained the knowledge of destruction of taints, Aswakya Jnana. So when you read the Sutta, many Suttas is mentioned in such a way. And Suttas, especially Samanyaphala Sutta, and many Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya. So, and they just mention only how to someone became the knowledge of destruction of taints. It's called arahant. Sutta always mentions 3 kinds of taints. So that means the taints of sensory desire, the taints of existence, and the taints of ignorance. I say asava. But Abhidhamma utter another one, the taints of wrong view. So altogether 4. Okay, question? Okay.
Oops. Okay, basically just trying to keep up. So I hope I got it correctly. What is the difference between taint of ignorance and taint of wrong view, which has been added by Abhidhamma?
Okay.
Yeah.
You mean the meaning of the taints of ignorance?
And the difference, really, actually the difference.
Yes, they have a difference, yes.
Yes, between taint of ignorance and taint of wrong view.
Yes, they have a difference. Normally, because of ignorance, wrong view arises. So actually, in Dipana originations, we learn that based on depending on ignorance, sankhara arises. The first sutta of Magga Sanyutta, Samyutta Nikaya, chapter 45. So the first sutta said that the ignorance is forerunner. After ignorance, if we have ignorance, wrong view spring up. Right? So that means because of ignorance, not knowing, then wrong view arises. But if we know Four Noble Truths, that is called wisdom. That is called Vajja. If we know Four Noble Truths, then right view spring up. That means ignorance or wisdom is forerunner. They come first, then after that, right view and wrong view will come up. You got it? So here, because of ignorance, not knowing, then we have a wrong view.
I wonder why Abhidhamma included number 4, wrong view.
Yeah.
There must be some pressing, a very good reason for Abhidhamma to do that because it is so detailed. So what is it that Abhidhamma wants to say? Because generally we do know that because of ignorance, wrong view springs up. So what is that main message, the very core key message that Abhidhamma is trying to tell us?
Normally the nature of Abhidhamma trying to bring detailed explanations. Normally in the Sutta Pitaka we have only 3. So one of the set commentary means the text that explain commentaries. One of the set commentaries said that I also find that why 4, right? Normally in all the suttas mention only 3. Why Abhidhamma added 3? So I think it is for actually as far as I how to say other Abhidhamma texts, so that maybe I overlook. So the reason I think Pဋ္ဌာနာ trying to explain how to say the most comprehensive explanations for wrong view. Of course we can also say that is the taints. We have a wrong view based on ignorance. Because of that taints, because of that defilement, wrong view, our action, our intention, our speech went wrong, go wrong. So trying to elaborate 4 noble truths, especially the second and third. So for that reason, Pဋ္ဌာနာ trying to elaborate. So I think that is the reason I can find out. But one of the set commentaries said that if someone say wrong view, that is pamada lekha. Pamada lekha means how to say writing wrongly. So pamada lekha means how to say that mistyping. Somebody added as a so I think as we can find only 3 types of taints in the suttas, I think just take it as a 3 taints is more than enough. So normally that the same set commentary said that wrong view is added in the taints of ignorance. Sorry, the taints of existence. The taints of existence. So the reason is the commentary follow Abhidhamma method. So the taints of existence is taking lobha, right? The wrong view also another aspect of greed. So they have the same root, the root of lobha. For that reason, that set commentary said that the wrong view we can forget about it because it is just a part of the taints of existence and the root of. Okay.
Because taints are very important.
Yes.
Yeah, because it is if you want to be free.
Yeah.
From suffering, you must know what are the taints when they arise in your minds.
Yes.
So you know how to manage them accordingly.
Yes.
So the taint of existence, to me, it's I don't understand that because it's very conceptual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I will explain further.
Can I give an example? Like, my mother, when she's angry, she will say, I don't want to come back again. I don't want to be reborn. So she doesn't want to have existence. But obviously, she still has taints of existence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she gets angry and says, I don't be reborn again, all this suffering and all that, you know. But obviously, she still has taints of existence. Even though you just say, yeah.
Yes.
So what really does taint of existence mean?
Okay, I will explain. I will explain based on the Suttas explanation based on the Abhidhamma. According to Abhidhamma, so the taints of existence is another aspect of lobha, because we have a lobha to existences. For that reason, it's called asava taints. It's quite clear, but as just like your mother, she doesn't want to live. Actually, even for us, sometimes, right? We don't want to live. We don't want to live in this life. Want to die. It looks like you don't have the taints of existence. But according to the Sutta, we have a three type of craving, right? Kamatana, craving for sensual pleasures, sensory pleasures. Number two, craving for existence. Sometimes craving for non-existence. Actually, your mother go to third category, non-existence, right? It's another name for dosa or hatred. So actually, for that reason, I always say that according to Abhidhamma, second noble truth, dukkha samudaya, is lobha. Actually, according to the Suttas, not only lobha but also dosa as well. But ignorance or moha, manipulate, trying to control behind. We can say that lobha, dosa, moha are the original craving, the original suffering. But here I will come back to the taints of existence. So according to Abhidhamma, but here Abhidhamma, I will say that according to commentary explanations, just like a Visuddhimagga, they will explain the taints of existence as another aspect of lobha, greed. But according to the Suttas, according to the first sermon of the Buddha, it can be lobha and dosa, right? Sometimes we want to live as a human being. Sometimes you hate it. You want to die. There's another aspect of craving. I will say that is two types, lobha as well as dosa. So that is a two aspect according to the Suttas. So I think we have to explain in such a way. But another one is the Visuddhimagga mentioned that the taints of existence is another name for, the craving for rupa and arupa jhana. Sometimes when you attain five material jhana or immaterial jhana, you crave for it. So then that is the taints of existence. That is another explanation. So I think the explanation is very, sometimes very confusing. I think just take it as we have a craving regarding with the existence. Sometimes we want to live, sometimes you hate it. Both hatred and greed, not good. Just live in the present moment.
Actually, taint of existence to me, from a simple, everyday point of view, is that you want something to exist.
Yeah, you're also right. This is another explanation. Yeah.
Yes, from the everyday point of view, like when I see something, wow, so beautiful, so luxurious, I want it, so I buy it. So this beautiful, expensive bag is existence. So I want that kind of existence.
Yeah, you're also right.
Yeah.
But sometimes according to context, but according to Dipana originations, the existence me actually these are existences. But as I agree that sometimes we want existence. Sometimes I normally explain that in your office, so you're walking with another many colleagues. One naughty guy is walking beside you. You don't want his existence. That's hatred. Huh? That's hatred. You don't want the existence of that kind. But sometimes someone you like very much, so one day you learn that she have to move another place. Then you feel very sad. You don't want her to go, right? To go another place. That is, you want existence of that woman or that girl. So that is also existence. So existence, non-existence. You want non-existence of that kind. You want existence of that girl, the boy, like this. So that is also a type of craving. Normally when we have such type of craving, non-existence and existence, both are the original suffering. People will exist beside you, in your family, in your job, in your temple. Just observe they exist, right? No more hatred, no more greed. So that is, I think we need a lot of wisdom. The wisdom is opposite of ignorance. If we have ignorance, then that will lead to, hatred and delusion, hatred or greed. Of course, according to Abhidhamma, the taints of existence is a lobha. For those who are going to take YMBA exam, you have to take note this one. But if you don't want to take YMBA exam, it doesn't matter. So you can understand that this is a both lobha and dosa. It can be, right? It can be. Okay, question?
So Bhante, so the solution is really just to observe whether it is existence that arises in your mind or non-existence.
Yeah.
Just be at peace with it. Whether it's somebody you don't like, or whether it's something you like, or whether it's news that you hear, bad news, whatever.
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
So that is the solution.
For that reason, the Buddha said in Mahaparinibbana Sutta, there's only one way to overcome suffering. That is mindfulness. Mindfulness supported by the Noble Eightfold Path. Right? The mindfulness, actually, I think that what I want to say, the Noble Eightfold Path. So actually the leading one in Mahasatipatthana Sutta is the mindfulness. So that mindfulness have to be supported by other factors, just like concentration and sila, right view, right intention, etc. Okay. So only mindfulness is the cure for us. If you are mindful, pleasant things and unpleasant things, but if you are, as long as you are mindful, another thing is actually in my last Thursday, I said that mindfulness and sampajana, sati and sampajana. Sati means mindfulness. You have to be very mindful at that moment. Then another one is sampajana, knowing thoroughly, knowing, comprehending thoroughly. You have to know it. That's all. You have to know a bad guy as a bad guy, a good guy as a good guy. That's all. There's no hatred or greed, lobha, right? So that is the cure is mindfulness, sati, and sampajana. Sati means mindfulness, sampajana means wisdom. Okay? In the Sutta, Next one is flats, orga. The same defilements that are called taints are called flat. The same category, the same number, the same 4 taints are called 4 flats, because they sweep beings away into the oceans of existence. In other words, we can call it samsara, because they are hard to cross. Normally, we want to be born in human realm, heavenly realm, and Brahma realm. And as you said that, if some people doesn't want existence, there's also another existence, non-existent, right? Non-existence, because of hatred. So they are hard to cross. For that reason, they are called flat. So these 4 flats will sweep away all the beings in samsara, going around samsara, because of these 4 flats. But not like 4 taints. We have in one of the sutta in Samyutta Nikaya mentioned 4 kinds of flats, including wrong view. So actually, we have 4 kinds of flat. Number 1, the flat of sensory desire. The same thing. We have sensory desire. Because of that, we are going around samsara. We cannot get away with this. Number 2, the flat of existence. Bhava orga. Same as the taints of existence. Number 3, the flat of ignorance. Same as the taints of ignorance. And the flat of wrong view. Actually, we don't need to learn, right? If you know 4 taints, the same. Just like that, we have a 4 type of bombs, yoga. 4 bombs are also the same with the 4 taints. They are the same. They are called bombs, yoga, because they yoke beings to suffering and do not allow them to escape, just like oxen. So when they are tied in the yoke, they cannot run away. Just like that. So when we are yoked with the 4 bombs, we cannot run away from samsara. For that reason, it is called bombs. Actually, they are the same category, the same intrinsic natures, but the Buddha delivered using different names because of different inclinations or different disposition of beings. Some people, after listening the word asava, they were attain enlightenment. And sometimes the Buddha need to use the word orga, the flat. So taking that simile, some people will understand, his teaching very quickly. So according to inclination of beings or according to disposition of beings, so the Buddha used different terms. The same category of the teachings and the same intrinsic nature of teachings, but based on individual dispositions. So the Buddha have to use different terms. But here, you might wonder why yoga. Actually, the same origin, we are using yoga, right? Yoga practice. In Myanmar, when somebody go to retreat for 7 days, for 10 days, they are called yogi. Yogi is the person who is yoked in the meditation center. You cannot go out. That's another name. But actually, yogi actually means the one who is engaged in meditation. That's called yogi. Yogi. It's a very beautiful name. Whether you are man or woman, we call it yogi. Yogi means the person who fully engaged in meditation. Beautiful name. Maybe we can call it, he is yoked in the meditation center. Cannot run away. Very beautiful, yeah. You see, here, yoga means, actually yoga is yoke, right? If you are tied in the yoke, just like oxen, you cannot run away. Just like that. So we have 4 yokes or 4 bombs. If you have these 4 bombs, you cannot run away from samsara. Next one is called knots, kanda. Actually, this one also very beautiful. You know, the Buddha used different terms. The same thing. But this one is different. So they are called knots, kanda, because they tie beings in samsara by way of birth and death. So if you have 4 knots, so you will be tied in samsara. If you do unwholesome deed, you'll be tied to hell. If you do wholesome deed, heavenly realms or human realms. If you attain jhana, Brahma realm. So as long as you still have these 3-4 knots, you'll be tied in samsara. Only if you can remove all these knots, then you will free from samsara. So they are also called bodily knots. Bodily knots. But here, bodily here means not actual body. Is it both mental body as well as physical body? Mental body, physical body. So they are called bodily knot because they tie the mental and physical body or beings in samsara. The same thing. Sometimes called just kanda, sometimes called kaya kanda. So we have 4 kinds of bodily knots. Number 1, the bodily knot of covetousness, avijja kaya kanda, avijja kaya kanda, covetousness, avijja. It is craving or greed which pulls beings toward the desirable objects. Normally, if we see and we hear desirable objects, our mind is pulled, pulled to that object. We cannot run away. So that is called knots. You are tied to that object. You see something, then your mind tied to that object. You hear something, your mind tied to that object. Is it the opposite of letting go? Only you can practice letting go, then you will have happiness. If your mind is tied to many objects, so that will be the cause of suffering. Need to practice letting go. The moment you are dying, if your mind is tied to your body, then there's a great suffering. You have to go, right? You have to leave your body. If you tie your mind to your body, then that is the source of suffering. For that reason, letting go is very important. I will say the same thing. Bhikkhuni Khema, right? She practiced letting go. She doesn't care about her body. She just observes what is happening. So she said that if we practice letting go, or another word, renunciation, if we do not tie our mind with our body, with our mind, actually is near death is pleasant. It's pleasant. It's not suffering at all because of letting go. No attachment, no tying to the body. I think that is very important. You see a white hair on your head. If you practice letting go, no suffering at all, right? Some people cannot take it, right? Cannot take it. They even pull out. When I was young, I had to pull out, white hair from my father. My father told me to pull out white hair. The reason is he couldn't take it. His mind is tied to his hair. So and that is the source of suffering. Especially when you grow older, then if you cannot accept it, that is very important. The source of suffering. The body will decay. We have to accept it. That's letting go, right? Letting go. If you tie your body with your mind, you see the source of suffering. Another one is the bodily knot of Ewe, Vyapara Kaya Khanda. So it is hatred, dosa, which is manifested as aversion toward undesirable objects. Normally we don't like undesirable objects. We don't like hot weather. We don't like bad people. We don't like a very bad environment. We don't like bad food, etc. Right? If we encounter with undesirable objects, that doesn't mean you have to take it. So we don't have to have a hatred, aversion toward those objects. Normally, so when we see or when we hear, when we touch undesirable objects, naturally aversion arises. We don't like it. Actually, we don't like it. That is the bodily knot of Ewe. Even slighted irritations in your mind. Even slighted irritation in your mind. That's called Ewe. That is another. The next one, the bodily knot of adherence to the rites and rituals. The bodily knot of adherence to the rites and rituals. So I think rites and rituals sometimes a little bit confusing, but I find a very good explanations taught by a very famous Sayadaw in Myanmar, Mahasi Sayadaw. You know Mahasi Sayadaw? Then I will find a very good explanation. Normally we write in such a way. This is a bhikkhu body explanation. It is the belief that the performance of rites and ritual constitute the means to liberation, or liberation of suffering, or liberation of problem. Sometimes with a problem, we perform a lot of rites and rituals. Then you go to God of Mercy like this, right? These are considered as the rites and rituals. So I always say that there are many rites and rituals in Chonda Sutta. We can learn a lot. So when we get up, you touch the ground. that will be the purity of the mind, right? If you just touch the ground, it will purify your mind. Then in the morning, you go to the river and dive into the river. In the afternoon, in the evening, you dive into the river. That will purify your all evil sins. So these are called rites and rituals. Actually, we have a lot. For that reason, I like the explanation of Mahasi Sayadaw. He said that the Noble Eightfold Path is stated as the only way for purification of beings and to overcome suffering, both mentally and physically. So that is said that this bodily knot or adherence to rites and rituals is the belief outside of the Noble Eightfold Path. Instead of practicing the Noble Eightfold Path, then you perform rites and rituals. So that is called the bodily not adherent to rites and rituals, Silabra Pramasa. I think that is very important. As a Buddhist, the Noble Eightfold Path is fundamental to practice, forward practice. Wherever problem you have, just come back to the Noble Eightfold Path. Look at what is wrong with you in the Noble Eightfold Path. Sometimes because of wrong view, then you have a lot of problem. Based on wrong view, wrong action, wrong speech, wrong livelihood follow. We just have to come back to the Noble Eightfold Path. But don't look at rites and rituals. So I always say that even if we do not have right understanding, it will lead to rites and rituals. Because just blessing with the water will not purify your evil actions, will not purify your problem. But I always say that to those rites and rituals. But of course, you have a problem, you come to temple and you receive blessing from the Bande, you have a release. That's a good aspect, right? Because you are coming to the right place, a good place. Your mind, you will have a peace of mind. So we have to understand in such a way. Just blessing water will not make much difference. The only loving kindness, compassion, or the Bandes, and you are coming to the quiet place and peaceful place, then your devotion to the Bodhisasana, that will make you different. So here, what I want to say is, even the blessing with the water, if we do not have a right understanding, it will lead to rites and rituals. But here, whatever problem you have, come back to the Noble Eightfold Path. So observe what is wrong with you. What is wrong with the right view? What is wrong with your intention? What is wrong with your bodily and verbal actions, livelihood, etc. Then right effort, concentration, and mindfulness. Come back. Whatever problem you have, just come back. The Noble Eightfold Path, and you observe. You evaluate based on the Noble Eightfold Path. So that will be a good path. For that reason, I like Mahasi Sayadaw said that. He said that outside of the Noble Eightfold Path, if you think that all these practices, rites and rituals, including ceremonies, these are called not only rites and rituals, including ceremonies, if we do not have a proper understanding, that is called rites and rituals.
What I mean is that
chanting is very beautiful practice. I will say that.
But if you
chanting, right?
Chanting, yeah, where you remember your ancestors. But then if you continue to do that, you will never become a Sotapanna, because then we have attachment to rites and rituals.
In such a way, if I were following that practice, I would think in such a way. It's a very beautiful practice. It is the day that you remember your ancestors. Then you still remember your ancestors. Then you go there and clean the grave, right? Tombs. Then you offer food and flower, etc. This is a type of respect and gratitude to show your parents, to show your ancestors. You see, very beautiful, right? But don't feel anything if you cannot do that. So I think that nowadays, some Buddhists in our temple, after they die, after cremation, they after doing sea burials, no more duties, right? They don't need to go to the tombs or crematorium. It will save a lot of time and money, but it's not really easy to have such attitude. It needs a lot of letting go, a lot of renunciation. Normally, we crave for our rites and rituals, our culture, custom. If we do not understand custom and culture, that will lead to these wrong views. The knot is very wide. For that reason, I like explanation of Mahasi Sayadaw. Other than the Noble Eightfold Path, if you practice a certain, if you follow a certain practice, that is nothing to do with the Noble Eightfold Path. It is called adherence to rites and rituals. Actually, we have a different translation of the word. Even the commentaries, the traditional interpretations, is very, very, how to say, narrow interpretation of Mahasi Sayadaw. As a Buddhist, something is nothing to do with the Noble Eightfold Path. That's called Silabra Paramasa. But of course, you go and pray for your ancestors, but you have a compassion and gratitude in your mind. That's also a part of the Noble Eightfold Path. It depends on our attitude, I think, right? Some people feel guilty, so when they cannot go, they trying to go. That's also not good. Attachment, all right? Bodily knot of adherence to the rites and rituals. It depends on our attitude, I think, right? Depends on our attitude. If you go there, to pay gratitude and to pay respect to your ancestors, that's beautiful. Beautiful practice. So I very often read about for the news as a Chinese in China, wherever they are, however they are busy, they go back home. The New Year Day, right? New Year days for family reunion. It's very beautiful, right? Very beautiful. And then Chenping also, I think, a beautiful practice. Then let's see. And we put flowers on the tomb. Some people say that we have a lot of attachment to our mother. It's not so. It's not so. We respect and we remember gratitude to our mother. Also, this one also, it depends on our attitude, right? Depends on our attitude. Of course, if we can let go, if we do not have a tomb, that's also good. But we have a tomb to remember gratitude and to pay respect to the mother. That's why I think this one also good. So it depends on our attitude, right? Attitude is nothing but intention, right? Second Eightfold Path. Based on right view, we have a right attitude. If we have a right attitude, our actions, our speech, everything will be right. Is the Noble Eightfold Path, right? The Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, so I think this one is very important to understand. Whatever problem you have, come back to the Noble Eightfold Path. With the Noble Eightfold Path, if you find it something wrong, trying to change it, trying to amend it, right? Okay, the next one is the bodily not or dogmatic belief that this alone is the truth. It makes a little bit confusing, you know. So the bodily not or dogmatic belief that this alone is the truth. In the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, the Buddha said that this is the only way, this is the only path to overcome suffering for the purification of beings. This is the only way. Actually, it's not. So actually, I will explain. Explain this one. Bhikkhu Bodhi said that it is firm conviction that someone's own view is the only truth, that all other views are false. That is the bodily not of dogmatic belief, especially the dogmatic belief. So the last two bodily not are both aspects of Cetasika wrong view. The simile or the rect. Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 22. So the Buddha said that I have shown you how the Dhamma is similar to a rect. Normally we have Tipitaka. If you grab it, this is my book, this is my belief. Huh? If you grasp it, grasping is a upadana. Grasping is a lobha. This is my religion. This is my temple. Like this. If you grasp it. The Dhamma should be regarded as a raft. We use it as a purpose of crossing over the stream, river. In that sutta, the Buddha said that this shore is very dangerous, a lot of dangerous species. If you can cross over the other shore, you are safe. For that reason, you collect a lot of bamboo, a lot of thatches, and you make it raft. Then you using that raft, then you cross over the other shores. But you think that because of this raft, I am safe. So this raft is very helpful, it's very beneficial for me. Then you take that raft and put it on your shoulder. You go wherever you bring it wherever you go. You think that raft is very beneficial for you, very helpful for you. It saved your life because of that you bring wherever you go. Actually, the main purpose of raft is just to cross over the other shore. But now it's completed, right? You have to left behind. Just like that, the Buddha said, to be similar to a raft, you should abandon even to the teachings, even to the Dhamma, the Dhamma or teachings. How much more so things contrary to the teachings? Even teachings of the Buddha, you don't have to grasp it. Even Buddhism, as a religion, you don't have to grasp it. This is my religion. Don't talk ill of my religion like this, you know. For that reason, you know, in the Brahmajala Sutta, the first Sutta of Digha Nikaya, the Buddha said, criticize and condemns, don't feel angry. If the Buddha said that if you are angry, you do not know what they are saying is truth or false. If someone prays about Triple Gems, if someone glorify Triple Gems, don't feel elated with the lobha. So if we feel elated, instead of having lobha and dosa, trying to practice number one, sati and sampajana. Only two, right? Sati and sampajana. Mindfully listen to them and know what they are talking to. That's only two, sati and sampajana. Then if they are talking wrongly, so that will be the right way in the Brahmajala Sutta. So here what I want to say is, we follow teachings of the Buddha. We are Buddhist. We believe Buddhism, but we shouldn't especially in the social media, right? Someone criticize. You have to listen. You have to read their criticism carefully with the sati and sampajana, without hatred, without greed. Then if they are wrong, correct them. If they are right, congratulate you. What you say is right. So that is what the Buddha taught. But here in this Sutta, the Buddha said that even the Dhamma, this is the teaching or the Dhamma taught by our Buddha. Shouldn't have attachment or grasping. If we have attachment, the Dhamma or Buddhism as a religion, if someone criticizes, anger automatically will arise. The Buddha said that even the Dhamma, no grasping, right? How much more so things contrary to the Dhamma? Even the Dhamma, no grasping, no attachment. The Dhamma is just to overcome suffering. That is the purpose, right? If we grasp it, Buddhism or Bodhisattva, the Dhamma is not to overcome suffering. Is we call it value added, right? So another suffering is added because of the Dhamma, right? Okay.
Bhante, I have a practical issue to get your comments. As lay devotees, there are some lay devotees who grasp to traditions and rites and rituals. Yeah. Let me just give you an example. Last year at Palilai, during the Vasa period, I offered lunch at, different periods, so I would go there. And then there was this lady, because I'm so this lady, she was, every time I go, she would say, no, you cannot do this. No, you must put the food there. No, you must use this spoon, use that spoon. Every time. So, she was grasping, and then she would complain to her friends,
Yeah,
and then
right.
the friends would say, never mind. But she would just keep on doing it, And and there are examples of people like this, I think, in all temples, So I wonder how to react, to someone like that, without getting irritated.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe it is a dogmatic belief. Only what we follow is right. The Buddha said, even what you follow is right. No attachment. Right? No attachment. So maybe they may have a lot of grasping to their tradition, to their custom in their temple. If you blindly follow, or how to say, dogmatic, we call it hardliner, right? In every institution, we have hardliners. So, of course, I also see them.
Yes, even here in
actually,
Meghalaya.
Yeah, of course, every institutions we have hardliners. They just say only what we follow is right. Other than this one, no, don't do that. This is, I think, one of the part of this one, dogmatic belief.
But how do you, on the spot? So actually, when she said it, because I went there a few times, so the first time she said it, I kept quiet. Anyway, I didn't quite get it also,
Yeah, I think what we do is, I'm the only two, Sati and Sampajana. I will come back to the best medicine, I think. Sati and Sampajana, of course, you know what they are doing, and you are very mindful. If Sati and wisdom is dominant in your mind, the anger or irritation will not arise. But of course, if you can change it, change it. If you cannot change it, just know it, you cannot do that. Right? But no dosa. No dosa. That's very important. Right? As I earlier said that, we have every institutions, especially a long history, with the long histories. So they stick to dogmatic belief, This one is laid down by our late Bande. This one is laid down by Bande Chaitra, like this. You cannot do that. Sometimes, even when they are serving food to the monks, of course, we have to follow according to seniority. But sometimes, a lot of people, right? It's very hard to follow. Then, if you stick to that belief, that rule according to seniority, is a part of this one, maybe, and dogmatic belief. They are tied to that dogmatic belief. So we have to play by ear, right? Sometimes situation is in such a way that you cannot follow that, or how to say, very old tradition. But of course, it's very beautiful. We have to respect to the seniors. But sometimes there may be some occasion that you cannot follow. But just do it. Must be flexible. The opposite of dogmatism is flexibility. We have to be flexible, right? That doesn't mean we do not respect seniors. We have to respect them. According to, we have to play by ear, right? Play by ear. Sometime. Okay. So what I want to say is, even the Dhamma, which is right, 7 years ago or 8 years ago, I used to go and read one of the blog. At the time, no social media. Social media is not very popular yet. We normally use blogs. So one of the blogs talk about the bad things about Buddhism. Then I normally go there and read. In this way, weak points in in my religion. No anger at all. Trying to train my mind not to feel angry. Many people angry to that blogger. I think not only one blogger, maybe they do with the group. They criticize the Buddha, they criticize the monks, doing a lot of dirty pictures like this. Mostly he trying to write a weak points of the Buddhism, not teachings of the Buddha. So I'm trying. By the time, I try not to be angry. So I read it, Sati and Sampajana. Sati and Sampajana. Okay. So even our own religions, no grasping, no craving. So that doesn't mean we don't have to believe. We have unwavering faith, but no grasping, right? No grasping. That's very important. Another one is a clinging, upadana. Actually, we have learned many times clinging. Clinging is an intense grasp. Something grabs it, hear something grabs it. Our mind trying to grasp it. That's clinging. Visuddhimagga mentioned 2 levels of attachment. Number 1, longing for an object. Longing for an object. You want something. That is called craving. Family grasping. Family taking the object in your hand. You do not let go. That is called clinging. So that is more powerful according to commentary explanations. So craving is normal attachment. Clinging is you cannot let go. You cling to that. You grasp it. Right? That's clinging, upadana. So Visuddhimagga gave a very beautiful example. Then into the dark night time, totally dark. Then you take something, the object, that is grasping. You couldn't let go. You're trying to take it. That's clinging. So that means in dependent originations, depending on craving, clinging arises, right? So actually the clinging is a intense grasping of the object. A different degree. Okay. Microphone.
Is this clinging only refers to object?
No, the state of mind.
But what about you cling, for example, if 2 Buddhists, 1 male, 1 female, and then if they don't, I mean somehow if that clinging is, I mean you call it attachment, but it's the true love for somebody, would you still call it clinging?
Yeah, of course. But sorry. I another one.
If there is a case, then 2 Buddhists will never get married because they don't cling, they no attachment, and then they are just nonchalant, I mean, no feelings for each other. But then if they have attachment, then they become not true Buddhists in a sense. How do we reconcile that kind of clinging? Yeah,
for that reason, I very often said different degree of craving, right? Different degree of craving. If you crave, you get married, you have a family, but you crave for another girl, and you have an affair with that girl, that is an awesome deed. Negative consequences. That craving is very bad. But your family, you love your wife and you love your children, you have a lot of craving to your wife, it doesn't matter. Desire, right? Sensory desire. So you have desire with your senses. That you call it true love, right? True love. Wherever you can call it, right? Doesn't matter, it's within your family boundary, right? Boundary. It will not block the way to heavenly realm or the way to human realm. So that is acceptable. But so we have a different level, right? Different level. Even clinging to or attachment to jhana is harmful for the attainment of Magga and Phala. So we have to understand in such a way, right? But of course, as you are living as a lay life, you can get married, you can enjoy lay life. Is acceptable. Enjoy. But if you want to attain jhana, right, you have to try to dilute, right? You have to dilute, at least you have to abandon hindrances. Actually, next topic is hindrances. So that is a sensory desire is one of the hindrances. You have to remove it, otherwise you cannot attain jhana.
So a woman can lose the husband to either jhana or to another woman, right?
I understand what you mean.
So a woman saw her husband now practicing jhana, then he's losing him already because he cannot have sexual desire. But then compare that with losing the husband to a number three, another woman. It's the same outcome, isn't it?
What you mean is a...
Okay, saw a husband, a devoted Buddhist, starting to meditate and go into jhana, and then release the sexual desire and correspondingly the love for her, then she's losing him. Then compare that with the same woman saw a husband going out with another girl, the end result is still the same, losing the husband, isn't it?
Not the same, but actually here, attaining jhana means only the moment you attain jhana, you will not have a sensory desires. Only the moment you attain jhana. The other time, you still have. So here, sometimes even your spouse may be going to meditation retreat, attain jhanas. The moment she attains jhana, no desire for sensual pleasures. But if he or she doesn't have sensory desire, stop it. No way. And then
but they also want to share for cravings and clinging, right? I mean, for lay devotees, from your cravings, right? You actually can train and practice yourself to have unconditioned love. For me, I still
you're right. Yeah. Thank you.
Very happy in both lay and then even if you have practice, you will find yourself, if you feel very good and very at peace. Like this brother, he's asking, it's not that you married, then you can't have cravings. You have cravings. You still love the person, but it's an unconditioned love. And then you don't see that person as, oh, I have sensual pleasure. It's more like a companion, you can share a lot of things with this person and you I find whether this person do right, do wrong, you just share and then you just practice, and then I think you will feel that kind of peace in you. I don't know whether this is
Thank you for being my side. So actually, I want to say it. Actually, I don't understand. It's so profound. So I think now I win. She gave a very good point. To love. Actually, for that reason, translation make very, lead to misunderstanding. But here, love, metta also sometimes translated as a love. And craving now also translated as a love. Actually, they are totally different. Totally different. So actually, for that reason, to differentiate between normal love and metta, we use the word loving kindness. But of course, some native speaker, they find it especially Pandit Gunaratana, he used very beautiful translation, friendliness. Friendliness. That means unconditional love, right? No condition. Whether you have a chance for sensual desire, it doesn't matter. You here, metta me, you just want, how to say, the welfare of a person. You want them to be happy. You want them to be successful. So that is love, loving kindness or metta. Sometimes we can practice even to those you hate. Of course, in your deep in your mind, you hate them. But sometimes, if you want the welfare and happiness of that person, that's called metta. You can practice metta in short period. At least short periods. We can practice appear certain period. Trying to prolong, right? Trying to make longer time, to practice metta toward those persons. If you can extend. When I was young, we compete each other trying to get first prize. Me and my friends. So at the time, I hate that my friend. Actually, we are rival. And of course, we compete. I put a lot of effort for my studies. So for 2 or 3 years later, then I'm in my tempe the first prize. So he couldn't compete with me. So by that time. So from that time onward, we became close friends. Close friends. Bitter, how to say that, rival. So anyway, I don't know what happened. Then we became very close friends, even up to now. So what I want to say is, we can practice metta in the family. Even though you grow old, there is no desire for sensual pleasure, but you still have a love or loving kindness, metta. You want to see him or her to be very happy, to be successful, to have a comfort, right? That is metta, loving kindness. Very beautiful.
Just one statement. Thank you for the profound talk.
Yeah.
Because it triggered off, some thoughts in me. So just a statement to the brother there who asked about, the sexual desire.
Yeah.
So the one statement I'll say is that.
But actually, just for the sake of discussion.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, not say anything about him.
Yeah.
I realized, Bhante, but it took me a long time, that metta frees your mind. Beautiful, it is so wonderful. It really frees your mind once you have metta. Because once you have metta, everything that used to matter in the past, it just melts away. So metta really frees your mind. But it's very hard to find the metta,
you're right,
especially in people that you don't like. And you have to keep practicing. This is just my personal experience.
If you force it, it will lead to another end.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I would force it. And I know that I seeded a lot of bad karma in the past because a lot of the akusala mental factors come in because there's up and there's down.
Yeah.
But then if you keep on practicing, you come to a point, you know,
Yeah.
where you don't go up and down, you don't stable, and it's just metta and compassion, that is all.
Yeah, beautiful. Actually, in many suttas, metta is used the liberation of the mind, Chitta Vimodhi. Liberation of the mind liberated from ewe, pyapara. Because of ewe, we have a lot of problem. So if you have metta, your mind liberated from Chitta Vimodhi. Okay, I think we just finished the definition of clinging. So next week we will learn clinging, different type of clinging. Thank you. Yo varadam bhavaro manu jesu sakya muni bhagava gata kecho paragato pala viriya samangi Dan sukatan saranatamu pemi aga sokan dhamma masangata mapatikulan Marurami mampagunan suwipatan Dhammami mansaranatamu pemi Yata chade namaha palamahu Chatusu sisu puri sayugesu Atacha pogala dhammadasate samupemi sadhu. Thank you, everyone.